Right now, MPD is using all the resources that they have to track down the suspects in all 3 of these shootings. I'm going to move out of the way because I want to show you something. You might see some of this debris on the ground. Officials dragged out some of that debris from the inside to prevent the fire from rekindling. This family did tell me they are focusing on trying to tarp up their home.
Before hearing today's devastating news, church officials told me that they were already planning to have a church service tomorrow.
8 days later, you can still smell the smoke from the fire that destroyed Lake House Inn in Edgerton. According to Wisconsin DHS, I had noticed that black people, non-Hispanic black people, have a high mortality rate when they're pregnant, and we're close to the national average. Why is that?
It's me. That's my sister, Lisa.
Looking at old memories on this cold winter day. Almost 4 years after Nicole Tracy's sister, Lisa Collins, was stabbed to death.
There's not a day goes by that I don't think about her.
Collins' body was found outside near Howes Drive and Clary Street in Beloit on January 29th, 2022. She left behind her 2 sons who were teenagers when she died.
And they took it hard, very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, they still take it hard.
Yeah. I just
They want to know what's going on. They want closure. They need it, just like everybody needs it.
Tracy and her aunt Charlene Negus says they went from hearing from Beloit detectives regularly to not hearing from them for a while.
It's been almost a year up until I think January 5th is when he finally reached back out, but that was after you contacted them.
The 2 want justice for Collins, who battled with using drugs, and a fair investigation to play out.
She's somebody, and I don't care what kind of life she lived. Like, she was a mom, sister, and
grief is still in the air, and emotions are raw, wondering what happened here 4 years ago.
I just want the person to get caught that did this. Let her rest in peace. I reached out to the Beloit Police Department on December 31st of last year for an interview, but they provided a statement. I wanted to know the latest on the investigation, if they needed any evidence, and what the communication was like between the family and the department. The statement from their communications director said, quote, "Every individual deserves justice, and the City of Beloit Police Department continues to investigate Lisa Collins' homicide. This remains an active and ongoing investigation." End quote. Now, the family plans to release balloons in Lisa's honor tomorrow, on the day that she passed away. As Madisonians brave the mounds of snow, an Arctic chill, plants are snuggled up in warmth, waiting to be invited into someone's home.
It's nothing worse than getting a beautiful plant that's thriving and then getting it home and it's not because it didn't get to wear a jacket like you did.
The owner of Madison Greenhouse store, Tiffany Olson, says plants can die within minutes if they are exposed to really cold temperatures.
It's a lot of plastic, but it's important for the plants to survive their trip home. They made it all the way here from either Florida or Canada.
Olson says she does not have to do much in store to keep temperatures regulated.
Just having this many plants, they create the humidity. So we don't do any humidification here, which is lovely.
But she says folks at home should consider using humidifiers or grow lights.
And a lot of times having plants in windows will help, but then you need to be careful when it's cold outside, because if you live in an old home with a drafty window, that can be really hard on the plant.
This is very January-like, this blast of Arctic air.
Chief Meteorologist Charlie Shortino says Thursday's temperatures could be below 25 degrees with wind chill.
The difference between what we get this time of year and in the middle of January is the fact that it's only going to stay around for a day. We're going to be back to near 30 degrees for the high temperature by Friday.
Which is why Olson is urging green thumbs to find ways to transport their plants from the store to their homes.
I've also had people bring coolers, which I think is really quite fun. You know, you're not keeping your beer cold, so you might as well keep your plants warm.
It's go time. We're ready to rock.
Recognizable and reflective.
We have them all organized by size so that it's really nice because when we come, we can just grab, go.
A closet once empty now hangs more than a dozen teal vests. Dane County's Victim Witness Services Unit incorporated the attire after helping out during the Mount Horeb school shooting on May 1st, 2024.
We learned an incredibly valuable lesson that day.
The lesson:
be accessible and visible for people in crisis. Deputy Director Julie Foley says the team arrived to the scene wearing street clothes with their lanyards, blending in with the crowd.
We did not serve them well by having them try to figure out who we were affiliated with, what our role was. And in the midst of a crisis, it's very, very difficult to communicate that information.
More than 7 months later, 3 people died in the Abundant Life Christian School shooting. It was the first time Brooke Barcina wore her teal vest in a major incident. She was able to assist students, staff, and families.
Visually, a way for someone to come up to me and say, this is what I need. You know, it's hard enough to even ask what you need, but it's even harder if you don't know who to ask.
The unit reflects on the past year and says they are prepared if this ever happens again.
Talking about walkie-talkies, having our own personal go kit.
Although officials prepare themselves, these situations never get easier for the community.
There's no specific timeline on trauma and on grief, and it's not linear. And so you do need to give yourself the grace to sort of feel that.